Hello again. This is Domenic Marbaniang from the Department of Religion and Philosophy at Hong Kong Baptist University. And I would like to talk about Gandhian nonviolence today. The past decade has seen over 100 protest movements across the globe, many of which were nonviolent. Now, the greatest inspiration for nonviolence comes from the thoughts of Mahatma Gandhi of India. Do you know that Gandhi's ideas of nonviolence were influenced by a mixture of Jain and Christian teachings? Yeah, Gandhi came from a region of India, Gujarat, that has a strong presence of Jainism that emphasized on nonviolence. He was also educated in Western education and had exposure to Christianity and its teachings while he was in South Africa. However, it was the reading of a book by an English thinker, John Ruskin, that revolutionized his life. He read it on a 24-hour journey on train in South Africa and said that he could not put down the book until he had finished it. The book highlighted to him the equality and dignity of labor and the importance of social transformation. Gandhi applied to Ruskin's thought his own meditations on nonviolence to create a theory of nonviolent activism that would inevitably result in social transformation. He was also deeply impacted by the teachings of Christianity, especially the teaching of Christ, the Sermon on the Mount, specifically the teaching on loving our enemies and being good to people even when they treated us very badly. Thus, his views of non-violence came not just from Jainism but also from Christianity. Yes, Gandhi believed that the only goal of life is knowing the truth, but he believed that truth is only open to the one who practices non-violence. And non-violence, of course, is the mark of true social service. Thus, in Gandhian thought, non-violence is not mere abstinence from violence, it is also positive social service. Gandhi believed that holding on to truth, or satyagraha, essentially also entails active and non-violent resistance of falsehood, including injustice and oppression, which are antithetical to truth. When one does that, there is non-violent social transformation. No, Gandhi actually said that his idea of satyagraha may be better associated with civil resistance rather than with mere civil disobedience and passive resistance. For example, a person who suffers injustice passively is acting as a coward and is not holding firmly to the truth. Similarly, a person who uses violence to fight injustice does not believe in the reality and power of truth. Truth is the only reality, so there is no question of fear that truth is always the winner. Gandhi usually translated the word satyagraha as truth force, hinting at the active nature of truth. Unconditional love towards all, including our enemies, to the point of willing to give our life for them, willingness to suffer for the truth, simplicity of life, harboring no anger, fearlessness, bread labor. These are some of the core principles of satyagraha. Now, there were many satyagrahas that Gandhi launched, but the salt satyagraha, also known as the Dandi Yatra or march, is one of the most remembered ones. There is a memorial to it built in Dandi. The British had made laws that banned Indians from producing or selling salt so that they could have monopoly over this market. This was a heavy blow to all those poor workers in India who used to collect sea salt and sell it. In addition, the British also imposed taxes on salt that raised its price so much that the poor could not afford it. Just imagine if 1 kilogram of salt costing just $3 or $3 were being sold for $15. There were already protests against it, and People were protesting all over the country, but it was Gandhi who decided that there should be a salt satyagraha. So, on 12th of March 1930, Gandhi, along with 78 members, embarked on a 240-mile walk from Ahmedabad to the Sea of Dandi. Thousands would join the march along the way. They reached Dandi after 25 days on April the 5th, and there Gandhi picked up some grains of salt and broke the British law. This sparked the nationwide satyagraha movement of civil resistance against colonial oppression. It influenced various world civil resistance movements. Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther Jr. King, two well-known activists who led the non-violent resistance movements against racial injustice, they were influenced by Gandhian thought. He also had a notable impact, as has been recently discovered, on the German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who actually wrote to Gandhi requesting his permission to come and stay with him and learn from him. Of course, that did not happen. In recent times, the India Against Corruption movement was influenced by Gandhian satyagraha. Disinformation, false propaganda, misrepresentation, suppression of evidence, fake news, false accusation, deliberate lying are all direct violations of satyagraha. Similarly, manipulation for false ends through fasting is also anti-satyagraha. Truth is not manipulative, and it does not need deceptive and cunning techniques. Retention of anger, resentment and hatred, cursing and swearing, stealing, sexual immorality, laziness are also regarded as enemies of satyagraha. A satyagrahi is supposed to possess moral integrity, should be willing to engage in bread labor, and should have the courage to speak and practice only the truth, non-violently, no matter what it takes. In fact, it is impossible to gain any form of justice through unjust means.